Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Santa Nicole, and today I'm going to be doing a story time, talking about my dad and a lot that I know from him because he passed when I was 10. So I might be a little fidgety in this story time just because I don't know why. Because it's kind of weird. It's like I tell people about it, the situation, about the story, and just about him in general, but actually recording it, talking about it is kind of like. So, yeah, stay tuned. So, the first thing I'm going to go into is my nieces are downstairs. They're a little loud, so that was that. But the first thing I'm going to go into is how he passed and where was I during his passing, where was he at, you know, just like everybody's point of view. My point of view, well, basically what happened on my side. I was in 5th grade. I was at Felwood Elementary. Yeah. I was at school that day. It was an early release day. Not in general for school, but what is it called? I haven't been in school for like 2 years. Is it early release? Is that what it's called? Early release? I thought early release is when the school itself shuts down or something like that. Or is it? I know you can call home for pickup. Basically, my mom's coworkers picked me up from school early. Just say that. I don't remember exactly which two it was, but it was 2 of our coworkers. And, you know, I'm energetic, happy, go lucky, whatever. And I'm just like, their vibe is off. Like, their vibe is all the way off. And the 2 people it was, if I can remember correctly, I get one of the people mixed up. I know it was one of my mom's friends, Mrs. Mary or Miss Mary, something like that. I forgot who the other person was. But she's normally bubbly, goofy, joking around, laughing, all that. So when I didn't see that, I'm like, what's wrong? And I'm like, everybody okay? Like, I've always been outspoken. So if something off, I'm just going to be like, okay. So, you know, I'm still joking around, laughing, whatever. But at one point, mind you, my school is literally like 3 minutes away from my house. So the car ride wasn't long, but it was weird. Like, y'all are quiet. So I get there, get home. I really don't remember as far as who was in my house, but I know we had company. But I think it was some more of my mom's friends from work. And I think one of my aunts or uncles or something like that on my dad's side. So I'm like, you know, normally we have, like, back then we had, like, a lot of company and stuff. Mind you, I'm 10. And it was 2010. I forgot to say that. My age goes with the year.
Okay.
So, yeah, I forgot who I was there, but I know it was, like, at least 4 to 5 more people there, other people that lived there, me, my mom, and my sister. So my mom was in the back, and she came out in the front. She was just, like, looking real sad. And I think she was, like, somewhat teary-eyed. And I keep saying I think in,
oh, now you can't speak English.
unsure, because a part of me kind of wanted to fade that situation out and not talk about it or just leave it alone, but of course that's something big in my life. So my mom sat next to me on the couch and she just kept crying. And you know, this moment just like, mind you, this is my first ever death or first anything like that experienced as a young child. So she kept crying, and I forgot who was basically like, tell her, or do you want me to tell her or something? And you know me, I'm very curious, and I'm like, okay, what's wrong? Like, are you okay? What's the matter? What's wrong? And she was like, and she just bust out crying again. I'm like, my what? My what? My what? Like, you know, just a whole bunch of questions like, my what? And she was like, your dad, it's like every time she said a different word, it went back to crying. So like, who wants to tell their child this? So she was like, your dad. I'm like, my dad what? Mind you, like I said, this is my first time ever having a death or anything like that. So of course, back then my mindset wasn't the first thing, my dad passed. It was my dad what? My dad what? my dad on the way home. What, like, cause he worked in Americus. We live in College Park, Atlanta, Georgia.
I don't know.
I think is Americus in Georgia. Whatever. But so she was just like, your dad, I don't know if she said died or passed, but I think she said passed. And I'm like, what? I just remember, that's like, if I don't remember anything correctly, I remember bits and pieces, like my reaction. I was like, what? Like, come again, like, joke, not funny. So as she's saying now, I like just start crying, like, what? He's what? So as far as from that, her telling me from then, I think a couple more people showed up. My aunts on my dad's side, my dad's sisters, they showed up. And like I said, he lived in Americus, and I think for sure Americus is like an hour or two drive from where I stay. I think it was far. I think it was at least an hour out, plus more, or a little less. But it was at least an hour. So, we get in the car, I think I talked to my big brother, Marquez. I have 3 siblings from my dad. It's Marquez, Shaquille, and Marlon. Marlon's the youngest. I'm the second. I'm at the third to oldest and second to youngest. Yeah, and my two older siblings. So I think I was on the phone with him or something because they was like calling to check up on me. But we was on the way, and like I don't really remember the car ride that much. I don't think the car ride was like. I think the car ride was more so them sharing memories and stuff. And just my mom. I think I kept hearing my mom say, I can't believe this. Or this got to be a dream or something. Like I said, certain things just really faded from out my mind. Like before this video, I literally asked my mom, like, how did he pass again? I know he had a heart attack. But where, like what was more of it, more to it. So I think we get there. And like I said, I remember bits and pieces for sure. Like those are in my brain for good. Like there's nothing that can take that out. And that's what I remember when they opened. I don't even know if it was a hospital or somewhere you take the body. I don't know what it was, but I know it wasn't a morgue or nothing. I think it was a hospital. Some of this stuff I should have probably asked my mom more before starting the video, but I was like, let me just go ahead because I felt. When something pops in my mind, something like this, I just be feeling I need to go do it now, do it quick. So I'm like, let me go do this already. I feel good about it. Well, not good, but I feel like I won't cry about it as far as telling it right now. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and get it out the way. Because if it would be on a day emotional, like, one thing about it is I would never want to purposely make an emotional video because that's not something that I would just want to do for views or someone to see my hurt like that. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to that hurt, losing a parent. It's like I've heard most people say they lost a mom or somebody try to compare mom and dad. Some people have both of their parents in their life and had an equal amount of love or equal amount of attention from both of them. So I forgot who it was. They basically was like, losing your mom is not like losing your dad is not like losing your mom. And I'm like, well, losing my dad will probably be equivalent. But now, since I'm older, they weren't telling the truth with that. Like, that's not true. Me almost being 20 and being with my mom for 20 years, of course, it's a different bond because me and my dad only spent the time of me being 10. So, 10 is really not even, I haven't experienced anything but school. A school story, a fight, probably one fight. That's about it. But that doesn't matter. It's just, of course, that's going to be a different hurt. Weddings, him first dance, walking down the aisle, my prom, my first kid. Like, people don't understand that is forever gone. Of course, you're like, well, he's here in the universe or he's here in spirit or whatever, but he's not here. So it's going to bother you regardless. But back to the story. I get sidetracked a lot. Sorry. That's why I'm like, this is my first story time. I'm going to try to do unedited other than the stuff that just needs to be edited out. But other than that, y'all going to get the raws and the cold. But I remember walking into, I'm going to just say it's a hospital. If not, I'll probably, during editing, I'll correct it. I don't know why I'm supposed to say that. But hospital, I'll say that. So walking into the hospital, I just see him laying on the table. And from when we was walking in, you could see like somebody laying straight, you can only see his feet. Me personally, like I said, I had a real close bond with my dad, whatever. I used to like massage his feet and just look at his feet like, men's feet just don't look like women's feet. So I used to always joke about him and his feet and stuff. And I think I used to put lotion on him, something like that. I just knew how his feet looked. Like, your people. So I seen his feet and I just got weak. Like, got really, really weak. So I'm like, this is my dad. Like, he's supposedly lifeless in here. This is my dad, lifeless. Like, this is a lot for a 10-year-old. So as soon as we opened it, I think I went first. I forgot who went first. But I know my mom just, like, dropped. Like, it was just overwhelming for her. Mind you, they were together. So it's not like, separate places and stuff. He actually, the job he had just got it. It was a better opportunity, more money. He has kids. He had to, it's just more money. And a better opportunity and stuff. So he did it, and it was just like, they're lovebirds. So him being apart, it was still like, dang, like, we working, but we gotta hustle to get this money. So I just remember her dropping and just was like super, super weak and just like hysterically crying like, this can't be life. Then I remember, I think it was either my Aunt Cookie or my mom herself. Somebody grabbed me, like was just holding me, and I'm like, I'm in a state of shock. I don't think I did cry, but I think it was more like a silent weep of sort. But it wasn't like just like a loud cry. But my mom she was crying. It wasn't too loud, but it was just like she was in shock too. And I just remember looking at him, and of course they had a tube down his throat, and I'm like, he's breathing still. Like, I don't know if it's just a state of shock I was in or what, but to this day I still feel like he was breathing. Cause it was like, I think it was his chest or something. They was like the machine breathing for him or something. I'm like, okay, if that's the case, then he's still alive. I'm just trying to hear something other than what I've heard. And they're like, no, baby, he's gone. Like, and me being, like I said, being of that age, I never experienced death. I was never explained death. I just know that death is something that when they do go, they're not coming back. That's all I knew that. But it still didn't hit my mind then. Like, that's what was going on in that moment with my dad. So from there, like I said, it's bits and pieces I don't remember. Like, I don't remember leaving. All I remember when we left, my brother and sister were coming in. Or they was already there and they were somewhere else or something. But I just know I seen them as we were leaving, I think. And that's all I remember. The adults handle stuff like that, like talking about the burial, the funeral and stuff, and caskets and all that. And I think I was really more so far away from that talk as possible. The funeral, really, that could honestly be a whole nother story time. But I'm going to get into that. That was a lot. That's something that when it happens that young or something like that happens, you grow almost a hate for some people. My dad's funeral, my brother, I don't know if he has a heart condition or it was just that, but I know my dad, he didn't really have a good heart like that. So I don't know if my brother did either. I don't know about that. Like I said, I was 10. But all I remember is, he was, I think, hyperventilating. I think that's the word. I know that's the word, but I'm a little country, so I'm like, is that the word? But I think that is the word. I think he was hyperventilating. There it is. That sounds about right. Hyperventilating, and he was right behind us. So everybody was just like holding him, like, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? My mom trying to check on him and all that. Like, everybody trying to check on my brother, like, what's going on? Of course, we know he's sad, but nobody was expecting him to do all of that. But it was just something he couldn't control. It was a whole bunch of emotion. You're burying your dad. Like, I felt the pain with him. But him being older and understanding all of this, he definitely was just, and then him being the oldest, so it probably was just a lot on him. So in the midst of that, everybody checking up on him, I hear my Aunt Pat. I don't even really refer to them as aunts anymore, and you take it how you take it if you're watching this. It's just the way I feel. I mean, as far as elderly, I'm going to always respect my elders, but as far as family-wise, some people feel like blood comes first. I feel that way, of course, but some blood just doesn't act like blood. I know some strangers that treat me better than some of my family members. But that's absolutely a whole other story time. So I'm definitely getting into some of that. And that's something I honestly just started thinking about. Like, story time would be interesting. People get a little into your life or what you deal with or dealt with. So yeah, that's definitely a story time. I really don't like bringing family trauma or drama into social media because people throw it back in your face, or some people don't understand the whole sides. Two sides, was really three sides to the story. The person's side, the other person's side, and the truth. That's all I can say. And I say that regardless, even though I'm telling the whole truth, nothing but the truth. That's just how that goes. And I hope this whole video, I hope I'm looking the right way. Because some people look in the camera and some people look at the actual screen. Because I'm looking at the screen. So I hope it doesn't look crazy when I watch it. If it does, y'all still getting it. We about 14-15 minutes in. So all I hear is her say, let me check on, if I'm not mistaken, my side of the family. She's like, let me check on my side of the family, or let me check on my nephew. But I think it was let me check on my side of the family. This is something that has been going on for a while with my mom, my big brother and big sister's mom, my little brother's mom. And honestly, now when we all finally sit down and think about it, it's never been our moms. It's always been someone on my dad's side of the family, as far as like aunts or whatever, uncles, mostly aunts, trying to drive this wedge between us, or like between the baby mamas or whatever. Like, and it was always like people tried to look like it was more favoritism or something like that. I don't know. Like, when I was first born and stuff, my Aunt Pat, I'm gonna just label her as that just for the organization of the video, but I don't call her that. She was basically, I think she made my dad get a DNA test on me. If, like, I'll pull up a picture of my dad and we're gonna see, do we really need a DNA test? But honestly, you know, of course, a baby being a newborn and me being bright. My dad only has chocolate kids. Other than me, I'm the only bright one. So I think there was just something like, oh, boom, there it is. She's bright, not his. Me and my mom was the exact same skin color, man. Definitely his child. Definitely his whole Marvin face. But I'm going to insert a picture of how my dad looks, and you tell me whether or not I'm his child or not.
Get out, Brian. Get out and get to on that chair. Put that, once you wait for it,
She just appears to be just a little bit ghetto to me. A little bit ghetto, you know, a little bit hood.
That's my mom. So yeah, back to the story. I just, like I said, I get sidetracked bad, like really bad. But she was just basically like, let me get to my side of the family. And I just remember my mom, it bothered her because, like I said, it's been going on for years. So my mom's like, what you mean your side of the family? And from there, it was just words bickering and bickering or whatever. I don't remember who all was into it, but I know it was some of my mom's side of the family, my dad's side of the family. It was just like a whole bunch of chaos. There were no it wasn't an actual physical fight, but the words and stuff in that time of moment was just crucial. Like, it was just words flying across the room, like everything. I think either my sister or my cousin stood on top of the chair. It was just a whole lot of really. And to this day, I just like hate it happened, because I'm like, I literally half-ass was at my dad's funeral. Like, was there as far as seeing the open casket and whatever. But as far as seeing him going to the ground, you know, that's something I probably wouldn't even want to see myself. But just knowing that I didn't even have that option pisses me off to the core. But my mom left as far as, like, I honestly really don't know her reasoning of leaving other than that situation. Like, I know that was a bit much, but I think she was just really trying to get out of there as far as drama-wise or whatever. But I think in the midst of that, she wasn't thinking like, this is my child's father, this is her last time seeing him, this is not like we're skirting off, he's in the house, we can see him next week or tomorrow or something. I don't think her mind was fully wrapped around the fact that her pulling off from that funeral was my last time seeing my dad in this world. Like, I don't think she fully thought that through. And it's not nothing I fought her from, because like I said, when stuff like that is in your face, or stuff like that is thrown at you, or you trying to move along with the BS, what else do you do? Plus, I think my grandma was with us also, so it was a lot of stuff going on at once. So that's he passed from I forgot to mention that he passed from a massive heart attack. He passed at work. He worked on the railroads. He just had got that job. He was so happy. He was telling me about how me, my little brother, and big sister and big brother were gonna like have a great Christmas and stuff, and it's not gonna be no more tragic Christmas. Even though it was never tragic, like we always had something. You know, we always made sure everybody was straight. Like my dad was always that person. He was actually the glue of the family. So him passing was actually a lot on the family itself, like my dad's side of the family. So certain stuff is like, dang, I wish it didn't happen, because certain stuff would be the same, but at the same time it's like, I see your true colors now that it did happen. So it's like a lot. I actually have a lot of story times when it comes to them. Nothing but love from a distance, but as far as like visiting family events or something, it's only probably 2 handfuls of family members on my dad's side I mess with, and I'm not even counting my siblings, because that's just something that's they gonna be straight regardless. Like, what else about this video? I think this is almost about it. Almost time to wrap it up. Besides them yelling out there, so yeah, he passed from a massive heart attack, like I said. Oh, there was one part I missed. Before we left and got in the car, I think they were trying to decide who was wrong with who or something like that. I just remember walking around the front of the church just like out of my mind. Like I just remember eyes were like teary, so it was like blurry. My mind was just going all types of ways. I couldn't really breathe like that. Like it was just so much stuff going on. And I'm like, we're all dealing with something. This is a lot. So, that happened. It's almost been a decade since he's passed. It'll be a decade this October. October 28th, 2010 is the exact date he passed. Don't remember the time, but that was a tragic day. October honestly is my favorite month because I love Halloween, but
Okay, look at Ryan Bag. Who ain't there?
I don't think she understands what I meant when I said I was making a video today. But yeah, October is my favorite because of Halloween, but it's also my least favorite month because of that. I'm not one of those people that purposely get in a mood of that, but it's like that day actually feels like something. Like his birthday, it feels like we're celebrating like joyfully, but it's like the person we're celebrating is not here. You know, just like it's just those 2 days, like the birthday and the death date of a person, it just reminds you of their absence, and that day sucks the most. But that's it for this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell button. Thank you. I'm Zeta Nicole, and this is my story time.
Nice, so funny, dope. Nice, so funny, funny. Dope. Nice, so funny, dope. Nice, so funny, funny. Dope.